The world of reality television has just been shaken to its core, and fans are left absolutely speechless. Rasheeda, the ever-bold and unapologetic star we thought we knew, has taken a step that no one saw coming. Divorce papers have been filed, and rumors are swirling that she has secured full control of her brand, leaving everyone, including her closest family and longtime fans, in utter shock. The whispers started quietly, but now the storm has erupted. Late-night social media posts, cryptic messages, and insiders hinting at explosive confrontations have all set the stage for what promises to be one of the most talked-about moments in reality TV history. Emotions ran high as those closest to her scrambled to react, and the family was left divided, each member grappling with loyalty, betrayal, and heartbreak. Sources revealed that the decision did not come lightly. Rasheeda is said to have endured months of private battles, secret arguments, and emotional manipulation behind closed doors. And now she's drawing a definitive line in the sand. Friends and confidants have reportedly described the moment as a long time coming, while others are questioning how this move will affect the empire she's built from the ground up. Will this bold step redefine her legacy, or will it ignite a firestorm of conflict that could tear her world apart? Fans are already flooding social media with reactions ranging from pure admiration to stunned disbelief. Some are cheering her newfound independence, while others are speculating on what her soon-to-be ex might have to say in the coming days. One thing is certain, the drama is real, the stakes are sky-high, and every detail, every revelation, could change everything we thought we knew about Rasheeda. As the whispers turn into headlines, the question on everyone's lips is what happens next, and who will come out on top in this battle for control, power, and personal freedom. Hold on to your seats, because this story is about to unravel in ways you could never have imagined. The moment Rasheeda signed those papers, the world around her seemed to tilt on its axis. It wasn't just a legal action, it was a declaration, a thunderous proclamation that she was reclaiming control of her life and her brand, and nothing would stand in her way. Sources close to the star revealed that the tension leading up to this decision had been simmering for months, a slow burn of private confrontations, heated exchanges, and sleepless nights, spent wrestling with betrayal and doubt. Those who have followed Rasheeda's journey know that she has always been strong-willed, fiercely protective of her empire, and unafraid to make bold moves. But this step was unprecedented even for her. Family members were blindsided, friends were left scrambling for statements, and fans were left refreshing social media feeds, desperate for any hint of what would happen next. Insider reports claim that one particularly explosive confrontation occurred in the early hours of a quiet Tuesday morning. Rasheeda allegedly confronted her soon-to-be ex in their lavish home, emotions spilling over into a torrent of accusations and confessions. "You've taken me for granted for too long," she reportedly screamed, her voice echoing through the halls. "And I will no longer let my life be controlled by someone who doesn't see my worth." Witnesses described the room as electric, a charged atmosphere where every word landed like a thunderclap, and the air was thick with tension. Friends who were called to mediate described it as a scene out of a cinematic drama, one that could have been scripted for television, yet it was terrifyingly real. The decision to file for divorce was not just about ending a marriage, it was about claiming ownership of a brand that had been built painstakingly over the years, a symbol of Rasheeda's creativity, ambition, and relentless work ethic. According to insiders, there were moments when she felt cornered, unsure whether she could withstand the storm that was inevitably brewing, but in true Rasheeda fashion, she turned doubt into determination. As word of the filing spread, reactions came in waves. Fans flooded her social media with messages of support, some expressing relief that she was finally standing up for herself, while others were shocked, unable to reconcile the image of the composed, glamorous Rasheeda with the woman navigating such intense personal conflict. Meanwhile, speculation ran rampant about the possible repercussions for her soon-to-be ex. Would there be a public rebuttal? Would the brand suffer collateral damage? Rumors of secret negotiations, backroom deals, and whispered threats added layers of intrigue to an already tense scenario. Behind the scenes, Rasheeda was reportedly consulting with top legal minds, ensuring that every detail from brand ownership to financial assets was meticulously accounted for. She's not leaving anything to chance. A source close to the star revealed, "This isn't just about winning, it's about making sure her empire stays intact, no matter what he does." Emotional stakes were equally high. Friends described her as a whirlwind of emotion, one moment poised and strategic, the next consumed by the weight of betrayal and heartbreak. "I've never seen her like this," one confidant said. She's usually so in control, but this is personal. It's raw, it's real, and you can feel it in every decision she's making. The family dynamic added another layer of complexity. Members who had previously been loyal were suddenly divided, some urging caution, others fiercely backing Rasheeda's every move. Tension ran especially high during a family dinner that insiders describe as explosive. Words were exchanged, tears were shed, and allegiances shifted as long-held grievances resurfaced. It was like watching a storm break in slow motion, an attendee recalled. Every glance, every word was loaded with history, pain, and the unspoken understanding that nothing would ever be the same. Friends outside the immediate family also became embroiled in the drama. Longtime associates and collaborators were pulled into confidential discussions, trying to navigate the fine line between loyalty and pragmatism. People want to take sides, a source revealed, but Rasheeda's focus is singular. She's thinking 10 steps ahead, making moves that nobody even sees coming. Meanwhile, fans weren't just spectators, they became participants in the unfolding drama. Social media posts exploded with speculation, with some fans predicting a public showdown, while others debated the impact on Rasheeda's brand. Comments ranged from admiration to outrage, and memes began circulating that captured the shock, confusion, and intense fascination surrounding the news. The tension didn't stop at private confrontations. Sources claim that one particularly charged moment occurred when Rasheeda's ex attempted to confront her during a studio shoot for an upcoming project. The meeting, intended to be professional, devolved into an emotional battlefield. He thought he could intimidate her into backing down, an insider reported, but she stood her ground. Every word was measured, yet laced with undeniable emotion. Fans who were present say the atmosphere was almost unbearable to watch. Dramatic twists continued to emerge. Reports surfaced that confidential emails and messages were leaked, revealing not just the disagreements between Rasheeda and her soon-to-be ex, but also hidden alliances and betrayals from unexpected quarters. Friends who had previously been trusted were suddenly revealed to have taken sides, fueling the sense of paranoia and mistrust that now surrounded Rasheeda. One particularly shocking revelation involved a rumored financial misstep on the part of her ex, which, if true, would have jeopardized the brand she had spent years cultivating. Rasheeda's decision to gain full control of her brand suddenly seemed not just bold, but essential for survival. The psychological toll on Rasheeda was immense. Insiders described sleepless nights, intense planning sessions, and moments of profound doubt, yet these challenges seemed only to fortify her resolve. "She's a fighter," a close friend stated. "Every obstacle, every betrayal, every shock has only pushed her to be stronger, smarter, and more determined than ever." Meanwhile, the media frenzy escalated. Paparazzi and entertainment reporters clamored for every scrap of information, turning what had been a private struggle into a public spectacle. Headlines screamed about betrayal, empowerment, and impending confrontations, while talk shows dissected every possible angle of the story. Every revelation fueled more curiosity, more speculation, and more intense engagement from fans desperate to witness the next twist in this unfolding drama. The personal stakes were mirrored in the professional realm. Rasheeda's team reportedly scrambled to protect projects, partnerships, and endorsements that could have been jeopardized by the turbulence in her personal life. Executives and collaborators held emergency meetings to assess risks, while competitors watched closely, waiting for any misstep that could give them an advantage. Yet Rasheeda's presence remained commanding, her vision unshaken, even as the world seemed to close in. Dialogues captured by insiders paint a vivid picture of the tensions and strategies at play. In one heated exchange, Rasheeda is reported to have told her ex, "You underestimated me, and that was your biggest mistake. I built this empire with my own hands, and I will not let it slip away because of your pride or your secrets." The words, delivered with icy precision, reportedly left her ex momentarily speechless, a rare vulnerability exposed in the midst of chaos. As the drama escalated, friends and family tried to mediate, to offer counsel, to calm the storm, but Rasheeda was resolute. Every action, every decision, was calculated, yet carried the weight of raw emotion. Confidants describe her as a master of strategy, wrapped in human vulnerability, navigating the treacherous waters of personal betrayal and professional ambition with a mix of courage, intelligence, and unflinching determination. And just when it seemed the tension had reached its peak, new twists emerged. Alleged secret meetings, unconfirmed statements, and mysterious social media posts fueled speculation that there was more beneath the surface: alliances being formed, deals being made, and perhaps plans for a dramatic public confrontation that would leave fans utterly captivated. Rasheeda's ability to command attention, to turn adversity into narrative gold, became apparent as she navigated these challenges. Every move seemed to generate new intrigue, new speculation, and new waves of public fascination. Fans weren't just watching, they were emotionally invested, waiting for the next revelation, the next conflict, the next shocking twist that would define this chapter of her life. Part 1 concludes with Rasheeda standing at the eye of the storm. Papers signed, brand under her control, yet surrounded by a whirlwind of questions, emotions, and unrelenting drama. The stage is set for what promises to be a battle filled with twists, heartbreak, and revelations that could redefine everything everyone thought they knew about her. The tension is palpable, the stakes are sky high, and the world is watching, waiting to see what happens next. As the days unfolded, the storm surrounding Rasheeda only intensified. Rumors were flying at breakneck speed, fueled by leaked messages, insider commentary, and social media speculation that painted a picture of chaos behind the scenes. Sources claimed that late-night phone calls and private meetings had become a near-daily occurrence, as allies and adversaries alike jockeyed for position. Every conversation, every whispered rumor, seemed to carry potential consequences for both her personal life and her brand empire. Close friends of Rasheeda described her as operating on a razor's edge, poised yet volatile, strategic yet deeply human in her emotional responses. She's walking a tightrope, one source revealed, but with every step, she's asserting her power. She's not just surviving this drama, she's turning it into a narrative where she controls the storyline. The family, meanwhile, remained fractured. Heated debates reportedly erupted over dinner tables, at gatherings, and even in whispered hallway conversations. Some relatives urged patience and caution, fearing that any misstep could ignite further conflict, while others supported Rasheeda's decisive actions, praising her for finally standing up for herself and asserting her autonomy. The dynamics were complicated further by friends and collaborators who suddenly found themselves caught in the crossfire. Allegiances shifted rapidly, some remaining steadfast, others quietly taking sides in ways that surprised even Rasheeda. One particularly shocking revelation involved a longtime business associate, rumored to have secretly shared strategic brand information with Rasheeda's soon-to-be ex. The betrayal cut deep, prompting Rasheeda to take immediate action, restructuring her team and tightening security around all confidential projects. Dialogues captured from these confrontations revealed raw emotion and fierce determination. In a tense exchange, Rasheeda reportedly confronted the associate. "I trusted you, and this is how you repay me. Do not mistake loyalty for weakness. This ends now." Witnesses said the intensity in her voice left no room for argument, sending a clear message that she was unyielding in her pursuit of control and respect. Meanwhile, fans watched every development unfold, their fascination reaching fever pitch. Social media became a battlefield of speculation, support, and heated debate. Fans flooded platforms with questions: would Rasheeda remain unscathed, or would her ex retaliate in ways that could destabilize the empire she had fought so hard to protect? Analysts and entertainment commentators speculated on potential scenarios, offering predictions that ranged from dramatic public confrontations to surprise alliances and unforeseen twists that could change the entire trajectory of the unfolding saga. Amidst this whirlwind, Rasheeda reportedly continued to strategize relentlessly. Meetings with her legal team and brand advisors became increasingly intense, with every detail scrutinized. Insiders revealed that she was preparing for multiple contingencies, ensuring that no leak, no betrayal, no unforeseen complication could derail her plans. "She's thinking several moves ahead," a source said. "This isn't just about winning a legal battle. This is about securing her legacy." One particularly dramatic incident occurred during a surprise visit from her ex at her studio. Sources claim that he attempted to intimidate Rasheeda, expecting her to falter under pressure, but instead, she responded with calm precision and unwavering confidence. "You think you can control me," she reportedly said, her voice steady, yet charged with emotion. "This brand, this life, this empire, it's mine. And I will not let fear or threats dictate my actions." Observers described the scene as a turning point, a moment where Rasheeda's authority and self-assurance became undeniable, leaving onlookers stunned and her ex momentarily speechless. The emotional complexity of the situation remained a central theme, Rasheeda reportedly oscillated between moments of vulnerability and unshakable resolve, reminding those around her that even in the midst of chaos, she remained fully committed to her vision. Friends described her as a force of nature, tempered by raw human emotion, navigating betrayal, loyalty, and ambition with a mastery that left everyone around her both inspired and intimidated. Social media reactions mirrored this emotional roller coaster. Fans expressed shock at the intensity of the confrontations, admiration for Rasheeda's courage, and curiosity about the potential fallout. Memes and trending hashtags spread like wildfire, capturing every nuance of the drama from pointed glances to cryptic posts hinting at secret strategies. The tension escalated further with reports of unexpected alliances forming. Confidants and former associates who had once been neutral suddenly aligned with Rasheeda, offering support, protection, and strategic advice. This shift created additional layers of intrigue, as those previously assumed to be loyal to her ex reconsidered their positions, further isolating him and strengthening Rasheeda's standing. Dialogues from these moments reveal the stakes at play. One insider recounts a conversation where Rasheeda reportedly told a close ally, "I won't just survive this, I will thrive. Every betrayal, every challenge, every obstacle is an opportunity to prove my strength." Her words, charged with determination, set the tone for the dramatic maneuvers that would follow. Professional considerations also loomed large. Rasheeda's brand, meticulously built over years, faced potential risk from the unfolding personal drama. Executives and collaborators reportedly convened emergency meetings, assessing potential vulnerabilities and mapping out strategies to safeguard ongoing projects. "Everyone is watching," a source said, "and any misstep could have ripple effects that impact not just her personal life, but the entire business she's built." Meanwhile, the personal stakes remained equally high. Rasheeda navigated intense emotional challenges, grappling with feelings of betrayal, hurt, and disappointment, all while maintaining a strategic focus on her goals. Confidants described her as balancing fierce emotion with razor-sharp calculation, an intricate dance that showcased both her humanity and her unyielding resolve. One particularly dramatic moment reportedly occurred during a private confrontation in her home. Rasheeda's ex allegedly attempted to appeal to her emotions, expecting to manipulate her into reconsidering the divorce or ceding brand control. Instead, she responded with clear-eyed precision. "Your attempts to control me end here," she reportedly said. "I am in control of my life, my brand, and my destiny. Do not underestimate me." Observers described the intensity of her delivery as leaving everyone in the room momentarily stunned, a testament to her commanding presence even in the most emotionally charged situations. As the days progressed, the ripple effects of her actions spread far beyond her immediate circle. Fans, industry observers, and media outlets alike followed every development, dissecting every post, every interaction, every statement for clues about the next phase of the drama. Speculation about potential reconciliations, public confrontations, and strategic moves ran rampant, ensuring that the story remained at the forefront of public attention. And yet, amidst all the chaos, Rasheeda's focus remained unwavering. Behind the dramatic confrontations, intense debates, and social media frenzy, she meticulously planned her next steps, ensuring that her personal triumph and professional legacy would remain intact. Friends described her as relentless, uncompromising, and visionary, navigating a landscape fraught with personal betrayal, public scrutiny, and professional pressure with unmatched poise. The twists continued to mount. Alleged leaks, unexpected confessions, and secret meetings fueled speculation that the drama was far from over. Each new development added complexity, intrigue, and suspense, keeping fans riveted and insiders on edge. Rasheeda's ability to command attention and control the narrative became increasingly apparent. As she deftly maneuvered through a maze of personal conflict, strategic calculation, and emotional intensity. Dialogues captured during these turbulent times illustrate the drama vividly. In one tense exchange, Rasheeda reportedly said to her ex, "Every move you make, every whisper, every attempt to undermine me only proves how strong I am. You cannot dictate my story, you will only witness my triumph." The words, delivered with precision and power, left those present in awe, reinforcing her image as a formidable force both emotionally and professionally. As Part 2 draws to a close, Rasheeda's journey remains a whirlwind of intense emotion, strategic calculation, and relentless determination. The family remains divided. Allies and adversaries continue to reposition themselves, and fans eagerly anticipate the next twist in this high-stakes saga. Rasheeda herself stands as a beacon of resilience and strength, commanding her empire while navigating the most personal and dramatic challenges of her life. The stage is set for even more shocking revelations, emotional confrontations, and unexpected twists that promise to keep the world watching with bated breath. The drama surrounding Rasheeda escalated to new heights as insiders revealed that behind-the-scenes tensions were reaching a boiling point. Sources report that private meetings, late-night calls, and strategy sessions were no longer enough to contain the whirlwind of emotions, betrayals, and power struggles. Every interaction seemed charged with unspoken history, unresolved resentment, and the weight of decisions that could alter lives forever. The family, already divided, now faced additional strain as old wounds reopened and alliances shifted unpredictably. One family member, long thought to be neutral, reportedly sided with Rasheeda, prompting surprise and outrage from others. The dinner table debates, whispered hallway confrontations, and explosive arguments in private rooms created an atmosphere where every word, glance, and gesture carried enormous significance. Observers described the tension as palpable, a living, breathing storm that seemed ready to erupt at any moment. Meanwhile, Rasheeda's ex reportedly attempted multiple times to sway public perception, reaching out to media contacts, former collaborators, and even fans in what insiders describe as a desperate effort to regain control. Every move, however, was met with calculated resistance from Rasheeda, who remained unwavering in her goal to secure both personal independence and complete control of her brand. Friends close to Rasheeda describe her as operating on a combination of intuition, strategic foresight, and emotional intelligence. She's reading everyone in the room, one confidant revealed. She knows who's loyal, who's opportunistic, and who might betray her next. It's a masterclass in strategy wrapped in emotional intensity. Social media, as ever, became a parallel battlefield. Fans dissected posts, comments, and cryptic messages, attempting to predict the next twist. Some praised her bravery, calling her a symbol of empowerment and resilience, while others speculated about the potential fallout, questioning whether her bold moves might trigger unforeseen consequences. Amidst this public fascination, private confrontations purportedly intensified. One insider recounted a particularly heated exchange during a studio meeting. Rasheeda's ex allegedly tried to leverage past grievances to pressure her into concessions, but she countered with calm, precise, and forceful declarations. "Your attempts to control me end here. I am in charge of my life, my brand, and every decision moving forward." The room, according to witnesses, was frozen in the aftermath of her words, the weight of authority and conviction impossible to ignore. Dramatic twists didn't stop there. Allegedly, confidential business information surfaced in ways that suggested betrayal from someone within her own circle. The revelation shook Rasheeda to the core, prompting immediate and decisive action. Team structures were overhauled, confidential documents secured, and meetings held to assess vulnerabilities. Rasheeda's handling of the situation reportedly combined tactical precision with a raw, emotional intelligence that left both allies and adversaries astonished. "She's unshakable," one source said. "Even when betrayal hits close, she turns it into fuel for her next move. She's not just reacting, she's directing the narrative." Emotional stakes remained high, and insiders described Rasheeda as moving through a complex emotional landscape where trust, loyalty, and personal pain intersected with professional ambition. Longtime friends and collaborators were pulled into difficult conversations, often having to choose sides in a drama that blurred the lines between personal and professional spheres. Every decision, every response, seemed to ripple outward, influencing alliances, fan reactions, and even the media narrative. One particularly explosive moment reportedly occurred when Rasheeda learned that a former collaborator had been communicating privately with her ex. The confrontation that followed was described as intense, emotionally charged, and strategic. "I trusted you," Rasheeda reportedly said, "and this is how you repay that trust. Do not mistake loyalty for weakness. Consider this your final warning." Witnesses recall that the intensity in her tone left no room for negotiation, a stark reminder that she was determined to maintain control at every level. Meanwhile, media outlets and social platforms were ablaze with speculation. Fans dissected leaked messages, analyzed facial expressions in public appearances, and debated potential outcomes, creating an environment where every development became newsworthy. Influencers, entertainment reporters, and commentators joined the conversation, offering analysis, predictions, and commentary that only intensified public fascination. In addition to family drama and public speculation, Rasheeda reportedly faced internal emotional battles. Confidants describe her as oscillating between moments of vulnerability and extraordinary resolve. One friend noted, "She feels everything deeply, but she also channels that emotion into strategy. She's incredibly human, yet remarkably formidable." At the same time, professional stakes remained intertwined with personal ones. Rasheeda's brand, meticulously cultivated over years, was at the center of the storm. Decisions about ownership, public representation, and collaborations required careful consideration, balancing the demands of a public narrative with the necessity of securing her business interests. Sources indicate that Rasheeda's approach was methodical, even as the surrounding environment remained volatile. Dialogues captured by insiders provide a window into the emotional intensity of this period. In one heated exchange, Rasheeda reportedly told her ex, "Every action, every whisper, every attempt to intimidate me will only prove my strength. I am in charge, and no one, not even you, can take that from me." The words reportedly left the ex visibly unsettled, a rare crack in his usual demeanor, underscoring Rasheeda's dominance in both emotional and strategic arenas. Unexpected developments continued to unfold, adding layers of suspense. Rumors of secret negotiations, leaked documents, and confidential conversations suggested that both sides were maneuvering strategically, preparing for potential confrontations in public, legal, and professional spheres. Observers described the unfolding narrative as unpredictable and electric, a high-stakes drama with emotional, financial, and social consequences. Friends close to Rasheeda emphasize her resilience. "She's not just reacting," one confidant stated, "she's creating the story as it happens. She turns every challenge into a move that strengthens her position. And she does it with a combination of courage, intelligence, and emotional depth that's truly remarkable." Even the most loyal allies reportedly found themselves in awe of her capacity to navigate intense pressure, personal betrayal, and public scrutiny simultaneously. Social media engagement continued to surge. Fans debated, dissected, and speculated, while hashtags and trending topics kept the drama at the forefront of public consciousness. The emotional roller coaster for followers mirrored Rasheeda's own journey, as each new revelation, confrontation, or strategic maneuver sent waves through the online community. One particularly dramatic twist involved a leaked audio message, allegedly from Rasheeda's ex, attempting to justify past actions and influence public opinion. The leak, however, backfired, fueling further support for Rasheeda as fans rallied behind her, praising her courage, decisiveness, and unwavering determination. As Part 3 draws to a close, Rasheeda remains at the center of a storm that shows no signs of abating. Family tensions, public scrutiny, and high-stakes strategic maneuvers continue to create a narrative rich with conflict, intrigue, and suspense. Her unwavering determination, combined with emotional intelligence and strategic acumen, ensures that she remains a commanding presence, shaping the story on her own terms while navigating one of the most dramatic chapters of her life. The stage is set for even more shocking twists, emotional confrontations, and public revelations that promise to keep fans riveted and insiders on edge. As the drama surged into its next phase, Rasheeda's mastery of both strategy and emotion became increasingly evident. The ripple effects of her bold decisions extended beyond family and close associates, reaching fans, media outlets, and industry collaborators who were all scrambling to understand the full scope of what was unfolding. Reports claim that she held a series of high-stakes meetings with key members of her team, recalibrating every aspect of her brand to ensure complete control. "Nothing is left to chance," an insider revealed. "She's making sure every asset, every partnership, every public perception is aligned with her vision." Meanwhile, the tension between Rasheeda and her ex escalated to a fever pitch. Sources describe heated confrontations, pointed exchanges, and moments where the air was so thick with emotion that even seasoned observers were left speechless. One insider revealed a particularly dramatic confrontation. He thought he could intimidate her, but instead, she turned the entire conversation around. Every word was calculated, every pause deliberate, and she left no doubt who was in control. It was like watching a masterclass in power and presence. Friends and confidants report that Rasheeda's emotional resilience was at its peak. Despite betrayal, public scrutiny, and the emotional toll of navigating a divorce while maintaining her empire, she reportedly remained focused, composed, and unapologetically assertive. "She's unbreakable," one close friend said. "Even when the pressure is overwhelming, she channels it into decisions that strengthen her position." It's both inspiring and intimidating. Social media exploded with commentary as fans dissected every public appearance, cryptic post, and leaked snippet. Hashtags trend endlessly, with followers expressing admiration, shock, and intense curiosity about what would happen next. Memes, discussion threads, and speculation ran rampant, turning the drama into a cultural event that extended far beyond the confines of her immediate circle. Meanwhile, sources claim that Rasheeda's legal team was working around the clock to secure her interests, anticipating potential maneuvers from her ex. Every contract, every clause, every detail was meticulously examined to ensure that no loophole could threaten her authority over her brand or assets. Dialogues captured during this period illustrate the intensity of the situation. During one confrontation, Rasheeda reportedly told her ex, "I have worked too hard to allow anyone to undermine me. This brand, my legacy, my life, these are mine, and I will not compromise for anyone's ego or manipulation." Witnesses described the room as charged with tension, the gravity of her words leaving everyone present in stunned silence. Unexpected twists continued to unfold. Alleged leaks, secret alliances, and unanticipated public appearances added layers of intrigue, keeping both fans and insiders on edge. Observers noted that every development seemed to reinforce Rasheeda's authority, even as it heightened emotional stakes. Friends close to Rasheeda report that she balanced intense personal emotion with sharp strategic insight, a combination that made her both formidable and deeply compelling. "She's operating on two levels at once," one confidant said. "Emotionally, she's raw and real, but strategically she's 10 moves ahead of everyone else. That's why she's dominating this narrative." The family drama reached a climactic point when tensions at a private gathering reportedly erupted into a full-blown confrontation. Long-held grievances, shifting alliances, and unresolved conflicts all came to the surface, creating an atmosphere that insiders described as explosive. Observers recalled that Rasheeda handled the situation with a mix of emotional intelligence and assertive authority, reinforcing her role as the central figure in this saga. Professional stakes continued to intertwine with personal ones. Collaborators, executives, and industry partners were reportedly kept on high alert, anticipating potential fallout. Contingency plans were put into place to safeguard ongoing projects, protect brand reputation, and ensure that Rasheeda's vision remained uncompromised. At the same time, her ex reportedly attempted to regain